Hello and welcome to our coverage of Love is Blind. We are here to talk about season 9, episodes 4 through 6. And oh my goodness, we have quite a bit to talk about. So we have to bring in, extra reinforcement. But first, we have two of our co hosts for this season or of Love is Blind. First up, we have the amazing Mary Kwiatkowski. Mary, how are you?
I'm doing great. As you can see, I am in a hotel room. They've actually flown me out to the couples retreat area, and I'm just podcasting from there. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty interesting being here,
Were you at
especially
the
by
pool party?
myself. I was like hiding in the bushes, so I could kind of eavesdrop. It was
Look,
it was wild.
Patrick wanted to be there by himself too, so
Yeah, could have been.
it's not out of the norm. Also here with me is someone who is just always confused when, I'm like, "Hey, you want to podcast?" And he's like, what podcast? What are you talking about? Married at First Sight? Love is Blind? I don't know. I just always feel like we're not having the same conversation, which applies to actually a couple of couples this season. But Jason Reed, Jason, how are you?
Oh, listen, Asia, you're always waking me up from a nap talking about, do I want a podcast? I'm like, wait, what? Podcast about what? What's a podcast? Where are we? Who am I? Who are you? How'd you get in my room? Yes, I'm here. Asia, pop quiz. Someone keeps sending me StreamYards. Say, I want a podcast about maths and Love is Blind with you. I want a podcast about maths, Love is Blind with you. What do? They won't stop. They're bigger than you. No. They're the same size as you. You go. What do you do? What do you do?
Well, I know one thing I won't do is put my hands on them because I'm great. I'm a nice
Okay.
person. I'm amazing. I'm better than every other woman. So
you're not going to.
That's just how I try to live my life.
You're not going to step to that person as my podcast partner. You're not going to step to them and be like,
I can't.
No,
I can't. It's just not in me. I'm nice.
Wow.
I'm
Okay.
nice.
So after this podcast is over, I'll be mad at you, right? You know that. Just so you know.
But I'm nice.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. Well, all right. I don't want you to compare yourself to anybody else. I want you to be you. But I'm also gonna be upset with who you are. So just know.
Look, Jason, I give you my all. Okay. So
it's not even a nice person. It's an effing nice person.
Don't make me start crying, okay? But like I said, we have to bring in extra reinforcement. So this is someone I always love. I always have the pleasure of podcasting with. If we were at the getaway, I'm sure I would be talking to her about all of my issues and concerns that I'm having in my new engaged relationship. But Mari Forth, Mari, how are you?
I'm doing good, and I would ignore my significant other to talk to you, Asia. Like,
I know you would.
Hands down. I'd be like, Asia. I would ignore them to talk to you. But I do want to say, I think for the first time in my Love at First Sight feed appearances here, I think I'm here to come and back up Jason.
That's right.
Whoa.
That's right. Thank you, Mario. Perfect introduction.
Feeling.
Perfect introduction. I have some old business to address before we start this podcast anew. Okay. Last episode, if you all remember, I made a simple comment about picking your second pick and then Zach and Bliss came up. Asia and Mary were like, "Oh no, you don't know what you're talking about, Jason. Bliss was Zach's number one."
Because you never do.
Right. So I said, chat. Back me up. And what the chat?
Hey, chat.
Hey, chat. W chat. Whatever that means. They came and backed me up. I want to read some comments real quick. Okay. Let's see.
They don't exist.
The most important mentioned already. Mari talks too much.
I did.
First of all, hit my heart real fast. First of all, how dare y'all make me agree with Jason? Yes. Truly, I replied and said, I'm going to print this out and frame it. That was my reply to that. Let's see another one. Jason is once again correct about Zach and Bliss. Thank you so much. Savici, I think that's his name. Marcy Antonello. Jason was clearly 100% right about Zach and Bliss. I love Asia and Mary, but they were reaching on that one. Correct. Let's see.
Listen,
Again,
I will happily agree to disagree with all of these people.
yes. Listen, there are so many other ones, but sorry.
The realist one.
Yeah, 9435. The Zach and Bliss conversation is exactly why Jason's been such a great addition to this show. Y'all needed a realist. Love it. There's so many others, but I won't fill up the time with my.
Look, I'm happily accepting my role as an optimist over a realist. That's just my view on life,
Yeah.
And I will happily disagree with all of those people. That's fine. And it's, I'll forever stand on that hill.
The hill is a sinking quicksand of lies. Your hill is a throne of lies.
Well, anyway, we have plenty to discuss on this episode since people want to bring up the past.
Since you want to compare so much.
Right. Hopefully, if you're listening to this, you have already subscribed, but make sure you subscribe to the Love at First Sight feed where you can get all of our podcasts about Love is Blind, Married at First Sight, and unfortunately, the canceled Ultimatum Queer Love. We recently found out. Go enjoy the first 2 seasons. Mary and Dr. Eva Jagoda and I had a great time talking about those. So whatever. Apparently, the straight Ultimatum is still on. I don't know how.
We got to boycott it. Boycott straight Ultimatum because what?
Right. But our recaps of that version is also on this here Love at First Sight feed. So make sure you go subscribe to the feed. Also subscribe to the RHAP YouTube channel so you can see our lovely faces and enjoy all of our content there. So let's talk about it. I mean, there's so much to discuss here. I can't wait to see if we agree or disagree. But let's go ahead and start with a couple that didn't quite make it out the pods. We thought they did. They made it out of the pods and made it to the hotel.
That's the thing. They made it out of the pods. This is like a new thing in the last couple seasons, I feel like. The couple who proposes, lies to the camera and says they're super happy during the proposal. And then there's the hotel lobby segment in the morning, which is... I'm living for this. I love it. I mean, it completely breaks the whole show and defeats the purpose. But I think it's a bad sign when you get proposed to and pretty much the only nice thing you can say is, wow, look at this ring.
Look at this ring.
The whole hotel thing, this being the second season in a row, I feel like the show is trying now to make situations where we're gonna ultimately break the fourth wall and show you like behind the scenes. Like, yeah, they stay in hotels before they go on the honeymoon. I think that might be a thing they're trying to push now. Since it's the second season in a row they've had to do this.
Which is funny, the women's hotel. You think they truly do have two separate hotels for the men and the women?
I do, because if you don't, you're gonna have people trying to sneak around and get together behind.
Yeah, I mean, they probably have that until breakfast, and they don't want people to see each other in the gym or there.
Yeah, I am underestimating the budget. Yeah, you're right.
Because also they it's when they're like, oh, the women's lounge, they don't sleep in the studio,
right? They sleep in the hotel.
Yeah, they sleep in the hotel. So yeah, I would assume they would have totally different ones.
Yeah, because you're at breakfast and you hear a voice, you're like, wait a second. This blew me away, and I wish Patrick had trusted his gut, because his gut told him pick Anna, right? Okay, she leaves. But now don't just be like, well, I guess there was that other girl I was talking to. Like, no, trust your gut, because the fact that it just only got worse from when Anna went home to now Casey has an ex that was fine with her going on another reality show and fine with her going on Love is Blind. I'm sorry. If he's your ex, why does he have any say on if you went on Love is Blind? Are y'all broken up or are y'all not?
Yeah, it was that conversation right there that Patrick should have been like, she talks to her ex a lot. That might be an issue. And then when he's like, I mean, you can see that he's hesitant. He's like, that's kind of weird that you talk to your ex like that. She's like, well, I can tell him after we leave here that I'm going to be married. Like, no, you don't. You're not supposed to talk to him at all. He's your ex for a reason. And the fact that she kept going back to this and being like, yeah, he wanted me to go on these other reality shows. He said he'd be here. He's always be here after that. So obviously he thought he was hot shit. Was like, you're not going to find any on those shows. You'll be right back here after you get off the shows. I think when someone's connected like that and they're still talking to that person, that should be your cue to
It should have been,
get out of this.
I agree. You could tell that Patrick was seeing red flag. You could like literally see it on his face like every time. But we have to give it up to the red flag herself for pushing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel bad for Patrick, and I do think he should have realized it sooner. But Kacie just played a better game in manipulation. She saw every time.
This isn't Big Brother. What are we doing? Talking about
exactly, exactly.
But Mari's right because
I'm being like sarcastic. She's a dick. Like she every time she saw that he would waver, she would push more. She would know what to do. She would introduce the sex talk to be like, yes, I'll be attracted to you. Like she could read him through the wall in order to manipulate him, and we need to be afraid of that. Like I sadly I feel like Patrick he failed. He just couldn't resist the game that Kacie was playing with him.
Yeah, he definitely had to be adjusting in his seat. Like after she was talking all that sex stuff, he's like, let me
leg crossed.
Yeah,
the way that shifted into like this sex hotline. I was like, where was the transition?
So
like,
cringy.
how did we get here? And it was none of him. He wasn't saying what he'd do to her or what they'd be doing. It was all her. And it's just like, he's like, even him having to clarify in this moment, like, oh, I meant my skin is a baby seal.
Oh my God. Was it described like, yeah, me and the girls were changing and they saw I had a landing show? I'm like, wait, first of all, when is Love is Blind contestants, are we in situations? Is there a locker room? Like, what are we doing?
Down that much.
What's going on around here? But the way that she just introduced that into the conversation, like she slipped it in there so effortlessly after he was doubting. She's like, oh, he's doubting me a little bit. Let me turn on the sex. Let me turn on the salaciousness, and that got him hook, line, and sinker. He fell for it, for sure.
Is that like, and obviously she hadn't met him in person yet and didn't know whether or not she'd be attracted to him or not. But like, normally I would say this is the type of person who like, oh, they just want to be on TV. They want to keep going. Yeah. But then she actively didn't want to continue. Do you think there's like just an element of a lot of people think they can play the game, and then once there's like a real person in front of them, they're like, ooh, I don't think I could fake this
I think that's what it was.
I think it was the attraction. I think it was a physical of it. I think that was all it was. I think right before the reveal, I think she was super serious about going on this with him. And then you could kind of see it when the doors open. She's just like, ooh, like what's going on? And then afterwards, she's just like, yeah, he's good. He's fine. He's great. You could just see it in how she was describing the interaction. Like, this might not be great.
But I think it shifted for her because she even, like, I do think it was an attraction. And definitely, we clearly saw that. They wanted us to know that with the flashbacks. They're like, this is specifically what she said. But I think even after the reveal and her being like, okay, this is fine, like moving on, I think at that point she still thought, I can get through this. I can play the game. And then it set in for her that night. Like, oh, shoot. That playing the game means this guy who I now have seen is going to be getting his heart broken.
Y'all are generous. I honestly think she was like, okay, that's enough TV time for me. I think I'm good. And like I was because think about it. And she got the pod, she got the introduction. I do think she was taken aback by the attraction, which pisses me off because he told you what his ethnicity was. It wasn't like you didn't know. Like,
well, I don't know. I don't know if it was the ethnicity that really threw her for a loop. I think it might have been maybe other things that were not to her liking. Maybe she was expecting a super buff guy, and Patrick's not a super buff guy, and that may have done it for her. No. I don't think it was the ethnicity part of it.
I think it was the ethnicity part. That Patrick is tall and he is very cute. Like
he is handsome.
He is very handsome. So I
objectively.
Exactly. He is not ugly by any stretch of the means. So I really think, like, I do agree that it finally set in for her, like, oh, I would really have to play this game. But to me, I think she was like, any TV is good TV, especially with the way that we got the flashback of her, about to break up with him, and her demeanor just being like, oh yeah, the attraction isn't there. Like her being like kind of bubbly about it. Then he comes in, and then the crying and the conversation. I know Asia's
Oh,
gonna
that. Oof.
it was acting. It was literally acting. I think she was like, okay, I got my acting out enough. I think I'm good. Like, I think she was like, I want enough screen time to be memorable, but she didn't want to keep going to cross that path of, like, you live long enough to be the villain type thing,
Yeah, I think her goal was to get engaged. And she did that. And then it was kind of like, oh, well, I could go through, like, I don't have to say yes at the altar type of thing. I'm still on TV. But then the fact that they kissed so much during that reveal. And she was like, oh, I don't remember the first kiss in her
And the fact,
confessional.
well, can someone explain to me her behavior after having the conversation with him in the hotel? The like continuing running, jumping on him, kissing him over and over. And I was like, this is
She's a
not letting him
psychopath.
down easy. This is not
She's a
easing him
psychopath.
into it.
She is a
That's the
psycho.
explanation.
I think she just didn't know what to do in the moment. She didn't know
So
how
your
to
default
address it.
is overly physically affectionate.
I don't think she knew what she was. I think she probably blacked out in the moment, to be honest. Like, because the conversation was so cringy, because he's like, he's totally misunderstanding the situation. He's like, he doesn't see, and
They're having two different conversations.
Yeah, she's not helping by sending mixed messages, because he asked her outright, like, just as long as it's not like you're breaking up with me. And she's like, yes, no, no, yes. Like, she literally says yes and no at the same time.
He literally says, like, I'll see you at home. And she's like, well, maybe, yeah.
I don't know if I'll be there. I don't know. I think the moment was too much for both of them. Patrick could not read what the situation really was, and she could not convey what her situation was. And so I think it is also her cognizant of the cameras and trying to let him down, quote unquote, easily, and also not being harsh in his presence. And I think she made if she is as cold and calculating as Mari and Asia are saying, that she's doing this for TV time, I think she could have said so many other things that would have made her look better.
She couldn't figure it out.
I think it's a spot in the middle. I don't think the whole thing was for TV time. I think she obviously hoped to find someone that she loved and was also attracted to, met him in person, didn't find him attractive, wanted to let him down, did not want to do that on TV, wanted to be able to ease into it at home. Definitely everything Mari's saying about like the way that she knew how to sort of manipulatively play him, totally true. But I also feel like in the moment she was just like, I don't know how to let this guy down right here. I don't want to have this. I don't want to prolong this conversation. So let's do it at home.
But see, here's where you effed up, Kacie. Here's where you effed up. You point to the cameras and the producers and say they're trying to make it about something else, and the producer's like, oh, okay. You want to play?
Show every bit of it.
You want to play? You want to play? Okay. We will air every single thing you said about his attraction, how you didn't think you could go through with it, you weren't attracted to him. We're going to show it. We're going to show it all, just to show you that you cannot make you're trying to spin this. We are in control of the narrative, lady. You can't spin this. Like, we are the bosses.
The spin was so clear when she's like, he deserves someone who's obsessed with him. He's like, oh, okay. You're trying to make it look like it's for his benefit, but then also saying, I just don't think my attraction is going to grow. It's like, you've given this man zero opportunity to exist with you in a different setting, have conversations. That's how I know it was just like a very superficial reasoning, because it's like everybody gives people like some little bit of chance. Even we see with the couple we're going to talk about later, Joe, with his superficial self, he has even given a chance to go to Mexico.
He's trying to drink himself into attraction. That's what he's trying to do.
But can we, guys? Kacie is trying not to seem racist on TV. But like, literally, Kacie is trying not to seem racist on TV. She's like this overly affectionate. This like, no, I'm attracted to you, but no, like, she's trying to not seem like it's because of his ethnicity that she's turning him down.
I just don't see that. But she knew his ethnicity before the doors opened. So why would she accept the proposal after he told her what the
because
ethnicity was?
Because she's trying not to look racist on TV. Why did they dare
She
you
could come up with
motivate him
1,000
faster?
other reasons not
Yes,
to
yes,
propose.
Jason. She could have gone about this
She
in a better
could
way.
have.
You're correct.
Yeah.
You're right. She could have just broken up with him in the pods and come up with some other reason. You're right. I'm sure that there's an element of that. I think regardless of a lot of it, I think it is just attraction. Like, you know, I think that's the thing that she's hung up on. Obviously, I think the biggest issue with all of it is the poor Patrick standing there being like, yeah, I just believe in love and patience and stuff. The producer or camera person on the other side must have basically been like, oh, that's what she said, because he immediately went, wait, what? Did she say something different to you? And I was like, ooh, right there. If you have to ask, that's it. Wrap it up.
Exactly. Because even
Poor
for him to
Patrick.
say, like, I don't think she's gaslighting me, that had to be prompted by a, do you think she's gaslighting you? Because
AKA
he
she's
was just-
gaslighting you.
Yeah, I was talking to my mom about this, and she was like, there was just something blocking him from seeing the truth in that moment. Because it's like, why would I be mad at you for not going to Baja? Why
It's
would I
because
be
she's
mad?
running on, jumping on him and making out with him.
Yeah,
Like
well,
that
they
would
have
also
to.
make my brain go. I mean, my brain is telling me one thing, but the person in front of me is doing something complete. I'm getting very mixed signals here.
Like, she won't stop kissing me.
I just don't get it. She won't stop kissing me.
I think it's also just about how much Patrick wanted this.
Yeah.
Specifically due to his previous experiences, by feeling like he has been shunned for his ethnicity. He wanted this so badly. So he's obviously willing to overlook a lot of red flags, a lot of obvious signs that she is not into this. She does not want this. So he's willing to overlook those things in the moment because he wants it so bad.
He does.
I feel so bad for Patrick. I had my issues with him in the last batch of episodes we did, but I feel so bad for him, knowing the struggles he's had, knowing the issues that
I
he
love
goes
that you've
through.
turned a new leaf. It's only been a few days.
No,
That's the one thing I didn't
like,
agree with you.
No,
Yeah,
I have not changed my opinions on Patrick from those early episodes. I just now feel bad for him because of what he's gone through. I still don't think he should have done this show if he was this sensitive about the topic, because it did inform so many of his decisions. It informed so many of his actions he took. But
I mean, and look what happened.
Yeah, and he's damaged even more now. This is like even like, I mean, but
exactly.
not now in the real time. In the real time right now, my man is just drowning in probably DMs of the Denver area. People wanted to go out with him.
Yeah.
But in that moment that she dumps him, and probably the days after, where he realizes, no, she does not want me. He's probably trying to call her, trying to contact her, and she's probably not responding. So in that moment, I feel real bad for Patrick.
Well, I'm just glad.
Can I just get one last thing about Kacie too, though? I also heard like she is a very big like influencer too, like social media influencer. So I also wonder, like, why would you do that? But like, I also wonder if it wasn't just like attraction, it was just like she saw him and she's like, how can I present him on my page? Does he match the aesthetic of my page? Like, not even if we're just saying not ethnicity wise, like, could I present him on my page and then comparing him to her ex? I wonder if that something like that comes into it too. So I'm really wondering if it's something like that, because influencers, that aesthetic thing will really shift stuff that they do in their real life. So I wonder if it was something like that as well.
I mean, she kept saying, I know how this is going to look. I know how this is going to look. And I'm sure she spent the night trying to see, how can I spin this to walk away in the cleanest possible way?
But
and
baby
she just
girl,
couldn't come up with nothing. She was calling her ex. What can I say? What can I tell them?
Baby girl, you don't control the edit. You don't control the narrative. There are people in charge that are doing that. You can't spin this anyway. They are spinning it for you. That's what you have to realize. So you can't.
Yeah.
But even when you think you're off camera, act like you are on camera. Because in that moment where she's sitting in the hotel, like restaurant or wherever this was, speaking, I think probably the most candidly she was speaking. She's like, "Yeah, I just don't think the attraction is gonna grow.
It's not gonna grow."
Not using flowery language, just being like, "Yeah, I don't think I can get there with him." Like that was. I don't even think she thought, this is on camera, they're not going to use this. I think that's, and where she goes, yeah, he deserves someone that's going to be so all about him. Like that's not the fire language she was using in that moment.
Girl.
To be like, no, I don't think it's going to grow. It's so matter of fact about it, where it didn't feel like she was even that remorseful about it. She was like, yeah, this is not for me. I'm gonna leave.
Yeah.
Like, so and the fact that she tells him like, yeah, I tried to go, another reality show wanted me to go on their show, and my boyfriend was like, go ahead, he'll be here when I get back. I was talking a little pre-show on this. For those, listen, Mary, I know you're not a maths person, but in the Denver season, we had Denver in Mass, which is not that long ago. I'm wondering if Married at First Sight was that reality show that contacted her about maybe being in the Denver season, which also was
If so,
a hot mess.
insane.
Yeah, the timing probably adds up, I think, if we're thinking about it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, even more down the rabbit hole. What if she was the one runaway bride from that season? That makes sense, right? We gotta call our friend Michael.
Okay.
We gotta call our friend Michael from Radio for Sight and see if that was a runaway bride. Because
we do have a good relationship with him now.
Yeah,
I like that theory.
Yeah, so I doubt it, but that'd be funny. I think because in the Denver area, Married at First Sight was not probably a year or two ago. So this is probably filmed more than a year ago. So I think that would probably make sense.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay. Enough about them. This is not a good situation. I was shocked. I was like, this is definitely one of those that people will be talking about on TikTok.
I'm sorry. Now I'm thinking about Casey and Brendan together. This is so bad. Okay, sorry. Why would you bring that up, Jason?
Brendan from Maths, you mean, not Brendan from?
Yes, from Maths.
Not this Brendan. Not the Brendan who is so worried about his future real estate.
Sure.
But speaking of Brendan, a different Brendan.
Yep.
We did have the remnants of this leftover love square. We had Nick and Kate still dating, Andy and Brendan still dating before ultimately Nick and Annie decided to get engaged. Let's start off focusing on Nick and Kate. This was very interesting, and I am glad that I watched this multiple times. I watched it for the first time on my own. I watched it with my mom, and then I watched it on rewatch with to take notes. And I just wanted to be sure that it was Nick choosing to hear what he wanted to hear. So the big thing with Nick and Kate was how Nick and Kate had talked about religion. And Kate had said after her mom passed, she was thinking, how could there be a God if what happened to my mom happened to my mom? And she also stated that she was spiritual, not religious. She does not associate herself with religion. But then Nick decided to take that opportunity in their next conversation to just be like, oh, do you see yourself on a path with God? And she's like, oh, no. And he's like, what? What? That's said. It's wild.
That's exactly what I said last time.
Yeah.
Pretty sure we just had this conversation. Mm-hmm. So, question mark.
It's crazy because it's like, she literally said to you that she doesn't even believe there's a God, and you're like, oh, sorry to hear that. And then he's like, do you think there's a God? She's like, well, no. I was like, how dare you not walk a path with God like I do? I was like,
you said after this, that implies a before.
What? The problem was Nick hadn't settled on his religious zealot character in that first conversation. So when she said, oh, I'm not spiritual, I'm religious, he was like, okay, cool. Yeah. I think he even said himself, he was like, yeah, I'm spiritual. I have my own
he said I have a quiet relationship
with God.
Because from that moment on, it didn't feel very quiet. He said it every line that he spoke were the rest of the batch. She was like, me and my relation with God. I'm so happy that we match on God. I'm like, wow. I thought you had a quiet relationship.
I got to course correct because clearly Kate thought otherwise. I need everybody to know.
I think in that conversation with Kate where she talked about her mother and all that, I think he thought in his mind, like, I think I could convince her to get back with God. I think I'm gonna be the light to guide her back to our Lord and Savior. And then when she kind of made it clear of like, I'm not, like, there's no chance at all that I'm going to be doing that. He's like, oh, like, I think this is too far gone. She's a heathen. I have to get away from her. And for him to just break it was in that moment, to be like, boom, I'm done. We're over. I can't do this with you if you're not all about God. I was like, oh, what? Kate, you dodged a bullet, girl. Because like that's why you have to have these intentional conversations first, because it may seem like a background issue, like religion. Like we don't talk about religion all the time every day, but you have to match. Religion is something you have to match. I think religion, politics is something that you have to really match on, because we've seen it destroy these relationships before, inside and out of the pods. When we are on our way to the wedding. So thankful for Kate that they got us out of the way before they got out of the pods.
Yeah.
I just feel like, yes, definitely, Jason, everything you said, but also I think order of operations was he told this girl he loved her kind of soon, probably too soon based on it, because considering the fact that 2 days later is when they break up, and then there was still more time after the breakup, more days where he got all in on Annie. So let's just guess that it was like day 5 or something that he tells her he loves her. She doesn't say it back. He then continues building a connection with Annie and starts feeling like, ooh, I've probably got more of a connection with her. So he sort of tries to take back the I love you to Kate and then also blame it on the religion thing, which I think is true and is there and is definitely, I think the religion thing was a big part of it. But I think more of it is also just like he had kind of already realized, oh, I actually have more in common with Annie. And so I'm going to, again, there was no reason why he couldn't have just been like, hey, I'm actually not feeling it anymore. But he didn't want to say, I told a person I loved her and then I actually kind of probably don't. And he couldn't admit to that. So he had to blame it on the religion thing.
See, I'm gonna push back on that a little bit, because I don't think he thought that he loved Annie until he was done with Kate, because it was in the exact same pod date where Kate was like, where he was like, oh, you're not confirming with me like the I love yous, and Kate is like, well, that's a big word for me, so I'm trying to make sure it's okay. And he was going back and forth, and he was going back, and he's like, I love you, I'm not taking that back, I'm not, when I say it I mean it. And she's like, okay, well, it kind of feels like you say that a little bit easier than I do. And then he goes on and he says, please don't say it like that. That sounds kind of flippant. And she's like, and I'm not trying to be flippant. She's like, you're right. You said it. She's like, I'm just trying to make sure I am there before I say it. And they have like she's like, see, we had a mini argument. Ha, ha, ha. He's like, okay, yeah. He's like, but I love you. He quote verbatim says, I love you. My love will not be taken away from you. I mean it. And then
he did say that. And then he did.
Your relationship with God. And she's like, I don't believe in God. And he immediately then flips on him. Like in the same conversation, he then breaks up with her.
Yeah, and then he goes back into the lounge and is like, I don't know if I'm going to stay anymore because I just broke up with my number one. He's like, I might have made the biggest mistake in my life. Flip to the next scene where he's like, basically he's like, well, Annie's still here. So.
But I guess that's just what I say. It's like I don't disagree that he thought he was in love with her, was saying it, and then the religion thing came up, and I agree with all of that. I just think there is probably also an element of it that's like, shoot, I've been telling this girl I love her, and I keep honing this in, and she's still not saying it back and still not giving me what I want. And so, and then on top of that, then of course the religion thing, which I think gave him the out to say that again. I don't know. He continued to tell her he loved her in that conversation.
So ridiculous. Like
he really did.
I mean, because I don't Nick strikes me as one of those guys that just kind of wants a girl that fits into his life. Like it's not that he thinks he's gonna have to say all the right things. He's even the one who said like, oh, everybody thinks I live this bachelor lifestyle. Like, I'd like to see those people. Right. But he said that the fact that he was so willing to cut things off, and when he went back to the men's quarters, he's like, it was perfect. This relationship was perfect. Perfect in what way? What did you know about her that made the relationship so great for you, besides the fact that you were able to have a conversation?
Yeah, I think that's the reality of shows like this, is that they don't do a great job illustrating what these people really see in each other. They just use flowery language. But but yeah, Nick to me strikes me as just above it all. Like his shit don't stink. Like he strikes me as the kid that when you played freeze tag with him and you tagged him, he was just like, no, I had shields. Like I'm not out. I can't get out. Like and no one.
I was over it anyway. I didn't want to keep playing.
Oh yeah, and the game cannot resume until you all agree that Nick is not out. Nick is still playing because he had shields. He will not let anyone continue the game until he's still declared in. He just seems like
I think Mike might also be in that same category.
Oh, yes, for sure. Nick just feels like he thinks that his shit don't stink, and that is crazy to me because his shit does stink.
I mean, but the fact that he was so willing, like you said, Mari, to go back to Annie and just be like, oh, we're good. Or maybe Jason, you said that, like, oh, Annie, like, I'm so sure about you. It's not a choice anymore. Like, I'm choosing you. Like, that's it. Yeah, because you just had to break up. You don't have another option because you broke up with Kate.
Like, and the way that Nick is so like, woe is me, pity me. He walks into the date with Annie. He's like, yeah, I had to really just hurt someone, and she came after me with daggers.
Daggers.
Like, did she though? Did she? Like,
no daggers.
Like I didn't see a dagger in sight, and it's just like he wants Annie to like pep him up, make him feel better. Like, oh, I'm so sorry that you had to hurt someone, Nick. Like, really? Like that's just crazy to me.
After Kate says, I think you might have been love bombing me. He says, no, I wasn't. He then goes to love bomb Annie.
He's like, actually, Annie, I do love you.
Like, just out of nowhere, I love you. I'm choosing you. Nick, I think you kind of just proved Kate's point here. You are way too free with that love word. And this was a scramble for his number 2. I completely agree with Jason here. He wanted that number 2. He didn't want the experiment to end for him, and he thought, oh, maybe I love them equally, but I don't think so.
And this profession of love is what did Brendan in. Like, the fact that he came in so strong, and he's like, oh, he's about me. He's been about me. Like, he is so vocal with his feelings. When you have Brendan on the other side saying, Annie, what do you want in our future house? Like, okay, you have that, but then you have a guy professing his love. Then you're like, okay, well, I feel like I don't really know what it's going to look like with Brendan.
But Brendan sure did lean on that house bit. He's like, anytime she ever questioned him, he's like, but I know what color door you like.
Okay. No, y'all. No, we are not all about to be gaslit by Annie. Brendan legit was like, what do you need from me to show you that I wasn't here? In the conversation before the house thing, he said, no, he said, I can see myself with you so much. He's like, my biggest fear is leaving here without you. That was before the house thing. He was like, he didn't think he had to compete with anybody because up until 2 seconds ago, he wasn't. You know what I'm saying? And he might have not have been saying, I love you, but he was saying, like, this is what our future is going to be like. He's asking about the house. He said, is there anything you need from me to make you sure of anything? And she legit said, no.
Yeah, she said no. She said there's nothing she needs, which, like, yeah, I don't fault Brendan at all. I think Brendan's fine. I'm just saying, like, Brendan was on the path. Like, he was treating their relationship like at the pace that it was going, but then Nick came out of left field talking about, oh, I love you, and she's like,
but guys,
hold on.
Wait, let Mary go.
Mari, you said you got to play the game. Brendan needed to play the game. The game now is who can be the first to the L word. I don't even care if you.
That is horrible. That is horrible.
Brendan later says to her, Brendan later says to her, I knew I loved you at day 5. Then say it. That's important here because you are in like competition. You literally are. You don't know what else is going on the other side. Say it if you feel it, because that's important to these people.
I agree. Brendan was going at a pace that in the real world would have been fine. Exactly. I think I agree with what Jason's saying, except I also think Brendan seemed like one of those guys who's like, wait, but we're getting deep. I asked you what color door you wanted. And he just kept bringing that up. And it's like, that's actually not deep. That's very surface level. Right. And I'm not saying everyone needs to trauma dump on each other and love bomb each other. But I felt like she was trying to ask, and I think she should have been more explicit with it, but trying to ask, like, but can we have some more conversations to actually show me some things? And every time he was just like, no, girl, I got you. You know how I feel. Like, we're talking. He doesn't sound like this,
Don't
but
forget
like,
the door.
don't forget the door that you had. And also, like, a lot of her things, he would ask her a question like, what do you envision our house? And then she would turn it back on him, and he's like, it doesn't matter. I like whatever you like. And then he would finally kind of give an answer.
He was
So
like,
I felt like
I
he was just not
Oh
conversing
my God.
well
He
to
was
an
like, I like a
extent.
house. He was like, I like a house with rooms and a bathroom and a bed. That's the kind of house I want. Like, you can't give me more than that,
A
bro.
TV.
The
Like,
TV, a big
to
TV.
me, and I know that was just a tiny little bit, but if a lot of their conversations were like that, to me, I would also feel like, okay, we're going through the motions, but I'm not getting anywhere with this, and I can't read anything about whether or not you actually like me at all. So I don't blame her for not like being able to read that.
He was
I'm
not expressive
upset.
enough.
I'm upset. Brendan, okay, but I truly felt like he was saying things as if there was a future. And you could tell in his mind that he thought they were having a
But it's
future.
the kind
and
of thing
he
of
might
like when
not
you're
have just
talking with someone
expressed
you're
it.
dating in high school and they're like, yeah, we're going to have kids, we're going to do this. And you're like, that's great that you're saying this, but you're not actually showing me in any of our other conversations that you actually feel this way. And that it all feels, it feels fake. It feels like these false
Just words.
Fake.
words.
Wow. Because he was just like, what do you want? I want whatever you want. And I just think that's the type of guy he is. He seems like a laid back guy, as in like, he's like, whatever makes you happy is what I want.
But in this experiment, you have Nick on the other side, love bombing her. That's what you're contending
But
against.
Can
So
we
you
just
stop
now,
pretending
though.
that this is
Just
the
now.
Bachelorette, though? Like,
It
she
kinda
also
is.
needs to no. She also needs to show them like
Thank you.
the
'Cause
fact that she did nothing. She did nothing to win over Nick over Kate. That was
So you had
all Nick and Kate. That is the reason that ended, right? And so the fact that Nick comes in hardcore, she's like, "Oh my gosh, he's choosing me." Brendan is choosing you by you being his only option. Like, it wasn't that Nick
Thank you.
Nick
Nick admitted.
chose because by default he had this conversation that didn't go like the way he wanted. And now she's like, oh my gosh, Nick is all about me. When Brendan is like, no, I've been about you. I've been choosing you. And I've been telling you that I want us to have a future. And she's like, but are you choosing me?
Yeah, but like
as he continues to choose her.
So maybe you can say that Brendan and Annie are both passive people. But then you have Nick over here that is super active and super giving her what she wants and needs in the form of verbal affirmation. I think she even tells Brendan straight out, "I need affirmation from you. I need words to like tell me that you're in this." And he was just like, "The door, but the door though." Like, so I just don't think it was enough for her.
Y'all at the door. But I also did love like when she goes and tells him, because there's two conversations. When she goes and tells him like, I'm kind of feeling my other connection. He's sitting there, he's begging her. She has the box there. He's like, I don't understand. And I think at that first one, he was confused because he's like, wait, I thought we were in this. And he's like trying to talk her through. And then she's like, but you didn't do this. She just like, I'm feeling my other connection. He's like, well, then don't open the box. And then
what was
she's
in the
like,
box? What was in the box?
Well,
I need to know what was in the box.
I don't know what it was, but he said he was going to say, I love her. And then when they come back for that final one, I thought this is, to me, I was thinking, I wonder if you guys think so. This is how people should beg when their number one is trying to leave them. I thought Brendan was doing a very good job trying to be like, I told you that this is the future I've always wanted. I've always chosen you. She's like, I'm not trying to throw shade at your other connection, but it is us. I was like, this is what people wanted. And then I felt like Annie was gaslighting herself into being like, but you're just saying this now. You've never shown this. You've never chosen me. And Brittany's like, I have from the beginning. I thought this was such a good plea from him, but she had already made her decision and she was trying to do mental gymnastics in her head to confirm her own decision, because I think he did a really good job of expressing himself in that final conversation.
In that final conversation is
once he realized it was in, but I don't think he realized he was in jeopardy before that.
But you can't be sleeping on this experiment. You don't know what else is going on the other side. You don't know who is telling your girl what else to get her over to their side. You have to come at this with intentionality, and you have to fight for your spot. It sounds callous, but this is a kind of like a competition in these pods. You have to fight for your spot, fight for the person you want, and mean what you say and say what you mean. If you felt like you loved her day 5, say it. Say it.
Well, I for one am very sad over here because I'm just looking at Mary, and I'm just like looking at you just makes me want to cry because I know that you wanted this. I know you wanted to talk about the rest of the episode, but I know that
God.
looking at you is making me want to cry. You have to go.
I can't believe it's ending this way. I feel like we've just been getting started, and I really felt something through the wall of this podcast.
Mari just came in here and exclaimed she's going to stay the rest of the podcast, knowing that you have to leave, and she's just came here. So
I'm being intentional. I have to stay.
No, I'm getting called to
no shade to Mary
to go spectate another pool party. So I need to go.
Do you want to go by yourself? Do you want me to come with you?
I would rather do almost anything than go to this by myself, but this is where I'm at.
So you don't want me to, you don't want us to come with you? You want to go by yourself, or you want us to come with you? Which one? It's like which one you want?
I both. I want to go by myself, but I want y'all there.
You're being incoherent.
Okay.
I don't.
What did you take before you came on this podcast, Mary?
You're just waking up, huh?
Yeah.
That's what they all say.
Yeah. Just waking up. I had a really hard time in my last 5 podcasts before this one.
Right. Well, everybody go follow at Frail Mary.
Yeah, feel free. And I also just want to say that I will be checking out the rest of this episode soon. So the rest of you, I know it's hard because I'm leaving, but like no one else needs to stop listening now. You can keep listening to the rest of the podcast.
Imagine they're like,
you hear that, all you Mary heads? You hear that, all you Mary heads? She told your queen.
Apparently there aren't any because there are only Jason heads on this podcast now, according to the comments.
Listen, yeah, right is right and wrong is wrong. That's all I'm going to say.
These mysterious comments.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for chatting about this. This was fun.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah. Follow me at Frail Mary, and I will.
We'll see you on the next batch.
For the next batch of episodes. Don't worry. There's still so many more episodes to this season.
Right.
So much.
I'll be back.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
So of this square, Nick and Annie decide that they are for each other. And I agree with you, Mari. Like, I do think that Annie is the villain in this situation. Not that you said that explicitly, but
I mean, it was so funny because I was like, Kate is too good for Nick. Brendan is too good for Annie.
Yeah.
Nick
I wonder
and
if Brendan
Annie deserve
and
each other.
Oh, Nick and Annie definitely deserve each other because let's talk about this terrible conversation that they had. This is before even Nick and Kate broke up.
Yeah.
Which I'm wondering if like Nick and Kate had another conversation we didn't see, where it was like he may have had the same conversation with Kate, and Kate was like, "Oh, I'm fine with my kids being LGBTQ. Like, I'm good for it."
Mm-hmm.
And maybe Nick and Annie had this conversation. And Nick was like, "I'm a little more aligned with Annie. She's with the God thing with me. She's with the LGBT thing with me. Maybe that also had to do something with it. But we didn't get shown that, so we don't know. But let's talk about this ridiculous conversation they had."
Yeah, so it felt like it was a very open conversation. It's like, oh, okay, good question. Like, that is something good to know, is how your partner would handle if, your child decides to come to you and says that they're LGBTQ plus, proper terminology, but then it's like, Annie's like, scratch his neck. It's one of those things.
Looks at the camera.
Right.
Am I about to F up, or am I about to what is about to happen?
Could we break here? And so it's just like, and she's just like, I would talk to them or whatever. And Nick's like, yeah, do you think it's just like a fad? And she's, 100%. Well, how did this shift so quickly? Like, I thought the line of question was like, oh, okay, let's see what they say. But it was just a very revealing conversation.
It's like, I want to see if we match on how we would handle this. Oh, you will handle it
We
terribly?
do.
I will handle it terribly too. Great. Fantastic. We match. That's awesome.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Nick goes on to explain that when he was younger, his mom asked him, was he gay? And he was like, whoa, that question was just misdirected. And, and I was just like, oh my gosh. But they aligned in how they would approach this situation. And I don't know. It was just very interesting.
If you are listening to this and you have not seen this scene, which I don't know how you couldn't, because this is the scene that took social media by storm. Please go and watch it because it is absolutely abhorrent. Because the way that Annie and her, I said that she looked like she had the conservative MAGA makeup tutorial down saved in her phone. TikTokers understand this. Asia gets it.
I get it.
But like she was sitting there like, she's like, yeah, I wouldn't be the first to be like, yay. But I would really talk to them, give them a lot of information, and ask them, is this really a route they decide to go down?
As if they were buying a used car that had a lot of miles on it. Like, are you sure this is what you want to do? Are you sure this is what you want to get into? Like, wow.
And if anybody's listening and they're like, what are y'all talking about? I saw no issue with Nick and Annie's conversation. They're implying that their child coming to them is because, oh, my other friends like someone of the same sex, so I'm going to too. Imagine yourself, whoever you're attracted to, whoever you're with. Now imagine yourself, if you're not bisexual, imagine yourself just going and, for the fun of it, being physically affectionate with someone of a different gender. Are you comfortable? Is that something you want to do? Oh, no, because you're going with the person that you find physical attraction with, right? You don't just go and choose like, oh, I'm just going to do this because other people are doing it. And that's what they're implying, that if your child were to approach them about their sexuality, they're just making the choice because it's what's cool to do. That's how I found an issue with this conversation.
I find it so funny when people use that line of logic when talking about sexuality. So it's like, so you as a straight man are saying that if tomorrow you wanted to choose to be attracted to men, you could do that. And if they said, yeah, I guess so, like, have you looked into like your attractions and like what you think in life? Like, maybe if you think it's that much of a choice and you think tomorrow you could be attracted to men by choice, you might just be attracted to men, my dude, and men and women, maybe. So maybe you need to look aside yourself and see and see what you think about your biases and your preferences. I just find that so interesting to be their line of logic. Where it's like, what if we flipped it? Like, what? Like,
no, seriously, I just saw a pastor talk about this. He's like, when he thinks about members of his church that are part of the LGBTQ community and thinks about how other people do think it's a choice, he's like, let me think about myself as a straight man. Did I choose at a young age to like women? He's like, I've been liking girls since preschool. Like, that was not a choice. That was my attraction that I had early on, that I didn't have to think about it either way. So he's like, when I think about it that way, that's how I know it's not a choice. And so just like, it just blows my mind that people can't see outside of themselves.
Exactly.
And I mean, and because they had the same reaction to the situation, they are for each other.
Yes, and that's a great point too, because Nick invokes the whole like children being exposed. Like, it felt like the whole children being exposed to it at a young age type thing. When every day we expose our children to heterosexuality like on a regular, you think the one time that they might be exposed to something different, that it would change them if it's not already inherent, is just, again, so very offensive. Not only that they talk about this after the fact that they said they would beat their children, which is, if anybody knows me, knows that conscious parenting is something that I've now tried to establish in my house after being raised in this type of sentiment of like, it's okay to discipline, like very sternly discipline your kids. And they're like, yeah, we're gonna beat our kids, especially if we're, and if they're queer or something, maybe we'll have a discussion with them.
And they thought that was the most progressive thing they could have said. Like, let me
They said, we
lighten it
talked
up a little
about
bit.
it.
Yeah,
We talked about it.
And it's like, let me put a good spin on it. We're gonna talk to them about it, but we're gonna let them know it's wrong while we're talking to them about it. Like, oh,
Yeah.
you don't think that ate as much as it didn't eat? Like, that's crazy.
They said we left
Exactly.
no crumbs.
We pleased both sides with that one. We really, like, no, stop.
Just
Wild.
horrible. They
Yeah.
deserve each other.
That's what I think. Like, we could be moving in the right direction. Love is Blind comes and always makes me more than aware of, like, no, we're still stuck in the mud. Like, don't worry.
Oh, for sure.
There's so awful people out there. If current day politics didn't tell me that, then this show also tells me that.
Yeah, it was kind of wild because this was the most this was the most I guess engaging thing they had going on, because once they do their reveal, they're both pleased and they go to Mexico. Like, there was nothing else going on for them.
Yeah, no, nothing at all. I mean, Edmund does have a conversation with Annie about, because Edmund is so concerned about Brendan. Like, you really broke Brendan's heart. But he's like, but I see you and Nick are great. I see you Nick are great. And Annie's like, well, the guy didn't tell me he wanted me until the last 10 minutes that we were in the pods together. It was like, but yeah, like I said, Brent, like, you got to learn in this situation. If you're feeling something, you got to say it, because you don't know what's happening on that other side.
Brendan dodged a bullet just like Kate did.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Lahia, good for you guys.
Yeah. So it seems like they're a good match. They like consummated their engagement. I got caught up in Married at First Sight talk. They do they do go there on the honeymoon, and they're very happy with each other. The only thing was Annie expected some mountain man, which I didn't get that from his voice.
Where did you get that from?
He's a luxury watch dealer. Yeah. He's not a lumberjack. He's a luxury watch dealer. Like, what do you think was going to happen? Like,
she thought he was going to have a beard or something. Like, girl, sit down.
Yeah, that was so. I mean, and maybe that would help him in the looks department. But she loves it. So I don't know.
Good riddance. If the show, if the show thinks that they're going to be one of the couples, like, at the end where we're like, oh yes, they said yes, I really hope they don't think that, because why would you show us that conversation if you wanted us to be happy for them? Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, but these two will be interesting, because it could be just like, oh, they're going to be a boring couple because it just works, and hey, okay, cool, that's totally fine. But yeah, these two are very interesting. I think it'll be interesting when Annie sees Brendan, though, in the next batch, because I think Brendan is very handsome.
He is, but she got her.
But if she's into Nick, she probably doesn't care. Yeah. So let's move on to our next couple, which was very interesting. So Madison and Joe, this was unique, because we did already talk about how he couldn't really wrap his mind around the voice with the person. And he was Jason said he talked himself out of it. But I think what he was doing was saying his initial thoughts and then being like, oh, shoot, I don't think this sounds good. So let me try to flower this up, because
that's kind of what I said. I thought last episode.
Okay. No? Well, I thought you said like he started bad, but then he recovered. But the
he
recovery
to the
was
cameras.
for optics.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Purely for optics, because this man is not attracted to her and proceeds to tell her so in Mexico while doing the do, because they tell us on their boating date, which it was so funny to me that they just montaged all these dates. But on their boating date, she says like she felt sick during something he said, and he was like, well, like, she was like, where did you mean just like that I'm not your typical type, or like, what could he have said during sex?
I didn't get the thought that it was during sex. I think when they had a love conversation, like she said, you don't tell me you love me unless we are engaging in sex. I thought that the whole attraction comment just came out of like a regular conversation they had, probably when cameras aren't around, when she probably asked him, which if you don't want to know the answer, don't ask the question. If you're asking the question, you probably already know
You have a reason to ask.
Yeah. She probably asked him just in a normal conversation. So am I your type? Because I think she was probably getting some kind of vibe that it wasn't, and he probably said what he said to the camera. In the confessional, he says he's usually into thinner women, and he probably said something to that effect to her. And we've seen, I know the three of us who watch Married at First Sight as well as the show have seen so many terrible ways that the attraction conversation can be had. And it sounds like Joe, probably stumbled over himself communicating to her that she was not his type.
Which is typical Joe, because in the pods, he could not get, even before he saw her, he could not put two words together. Like to me, like, especially like y'all talked about the 7-Eleven date, like he is just not good with words to begin with, which kind of shocked me as to how they were able to match up. But then when you add the looks to it, I was like, oh, he is just bad at this, y'all. Like, communicating, talking, Joe is bad at that.
Well,
I mean, because he even said in his confessional, he's like, I'm used to thinner women.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, she's like thick with 2 C's. Like she just has a body. Like it's
which
not
annoys me. I was like, she's full figured. She is not.
Yes, that's it.
She is full figured. That girl is not big at all. And so I feel so bad for her, because you can tell. And he's like trying to be a trooper about it, but I don't know, y'all. This feels kind of icky to me, because even though I think he's not inherently attracted to her, I don't know if he thought maybe sex would help the physical attraction, but I don't know, man. I don't know if you should be consummating your engagement if you're not fully into it. But I don't know. Maybe I'm God.
I think he's trying to convince himself that he can be into it, because the alternative is not good, because the alternative would be him doing what he's doing, which is stumbling over his words, trying to explain why he's not attracted to this woman, and probably going to end up breaking her heart. So I think he's trying to convince himself he's okay with it, but it's not going well. It's not going well at all.
Yeah. Because that was if that wasn't enough, we got his behavior at the pool party, which was wild, because it was like he was doing everything in his power not to talk to her during the pool party, and then proceeds to leave. But even the exchange to leave the party, she's like, oh, do you want me to come with you? He's like, no, stay if you want to stay. She's like, no, but do you want me to come? Like, you want to go back and take a nap? No, stay if you want.
But listen, I've been married for over 10 years, and this is a conversation like no one wants to put it on the other person, like, stay if you want to stay, like, but do you want me to come? Like, I don't want to make you come. If you want to stay, if you want to stay, I don't want to make you do anything, but I'm telling you, I want to do what you want me to do. I don't care either way. Tell me what you want. If you want to stay, this like that's why you just have to be like, all right, like let's figure this out. But yeah, but in a new relationship like this is not good, because it's like, for this, he should be so head over heels for her, and she'd be like, yes, come with me, I want to be with you at all times. And I think she's feeling the vibe of like, I'm good, you can stay here, I don't need you.
He's watching back that interaction with Kacie and Patrick, and is like, I didn't know that was an option. We could say that. We could do that.
Like, just he was the one who's like really joking around with the guys. Like, these guys, they got together. I was like, oh, did the IQ points just drop significantly?
The most immature group of men.
Well, the Jordan Joe,
Anton, but this group of men,
not you, Anton, not you. You're fine. The Joe Jordan, like, back and forth of like, when people say like locker room talk, like, this is part of what they mean. Like, dude, you're not in high school. Like, this is not when I think what was it, Sparkle Megan said something about pegging Anton, and George's like, oh, you want to peg Anton? Oh my god, bro! Like, not cool. And Megan, seeing both Megan and Madison get the ick in real time for their men was like, ooh, it's not good. It's not good.
I mean, because
weird.
Yeah, we did see in the pods with what's his name?
Which
Sorry,
one?
what's that other
We
guy's
don't
name?
know,
Nick.
Asia.
Nick.
Yeah,
Oh.
Nick was saying, "Oh, if you look at my phone and my group text with my guys, we're just talking about
Yeah.
like
Oh,
what?"
we're talking about our penises. We're talking about our penises all the time. But I'm super straight, bro. Don't worry
Super
about it.
straight.
Like what is that?
What?
Is that what the group text talking
Again,
about?
when people on these shows talk about this is what the boys talk about. I'm like, I'm a boy, and I
You're
never
like, "What
talked about this with
boys?"
my boys. Like,
This
this
is
has never
like
come
this
up.
is weird.
Exactly. But
And
okay, go
mhm.
ahead.
Yeah, and I was just gonna say, like, Joe really is like I understood what Madison was saying. Madison's like trying to like kind of get close to him and be near him, and he's just like talking, looking over her to yell and laugh with the boys, and she just standing there like, oh, okay, so I'm just here, I'm just chopped liver. Like it was, yeah, rough,
Because even the
rough.
moment where she's like talking to Anton, and then she's like, "Oh, what do you think? What do you think, Joe?" And he's like, "What, babe? I'm here for you." What do you just have sound bites? Did
She's on
someone just press a
autopilot.
button?
She's on
And he's
autopilot.
like, "Yeah, I want this. We're for each other." Like what? What are you saying?
That's his aim away message. Whenever somebody like, yeah, babe, I'm here for you. It's all I want.
Yeah, exactly. And he's like laughing. But yeah, I think it like that's the start of the behavior that we saw later where it was
Yeah.
like he didn't even know where she came from, talking about she's so dressed. And she's like, I'm concerned you didn't realize I had on the exact same thing from the pool party. And it's just like I'm waking up. I'm waking up. Which is like, okay, I get the mentality of when you wake up, you are confused, right? That
Yeah.
initial moment. But no, bro, you asked her like 4 or 5 times about where she was going.
Okay. Okay. First off, if I'm asleep, do not wake me up. That is so rude of you. Like, do not. I'm just waking you up to see if you're okay. Well, I was okay sleeping until you woke me up. But I do. I would have been so mad. But I do think I was like, okay, this is a little bit more than drunk. Like, y'all, this
Yes.
is between Joe and Jordan. I was like, I've been drunk, but this was I said,
different.
so who from Denver brought an edible to the to the place?
Or who
How
worked at
do
that
we-
resort? Who worked at that resort is the hookup that you go to if you need some good stuff in Baja. Joe found the plug in Baja. Was like,
the
ooh, I can get
the
some good stuff
Baja
in this
booger
guy.
sugar? Like
Uh-huh.
which one was it? What was it? Because it was something. It was something, and but when like I've seen that type of behavior though, like when you wake somebody up and they're like in that halfway point and you're just rambling. It did kind of feel like that to me at first. He was just
But it went
like,
on too long, though. It went on too long.
it did. You're right. You're
Like,
right.
this is more than I woke up out of a dream or something. I mean, he could have been dreaming about him and Madison doing something else, and she was like, where did this come from? Last time I saw you, you were in like a dress for a gala or something. But then it went on too long. Like, it's like, oh, this isn't like dream stuff.
I really wasn't sure how I felt about Madison in this situation right here. Not like I didn't think she was wrong or anything, but it was kind of weird, right? So you come in, you wake Joe up, he says a few weird things, and then she just starts like crying. She's like, I'm so concerned. You're saying these
It was like
things,
crying from
Joe.
frustration.
Yeah, it was. And I was like, I wanted to be frustrated with her. Like I felt bad for her, but I was also like, could y'all just go to sleep and then like talk about it in the morning type thing? Like, you know what I'm saying? When your partner comes home and they're like a little drunk or inebriated, it's like maybe just let them kind of sleep it off and then talk about it in the morning.
It was the way that she said, well, I mean, you were like, you came back here because you were super effed up. He's like, stop saying that. It's almost like, don't call attention to it.
Yeah.
Don't call attention to the fact
And he
that
said it twice, and that was just that wasn't like them replaying it. He literally said, stop saying that. Jesus Christ. Twice.
Don't call attention to it. Like, I'm super high.
Done. Yeah.
I don't want people to know. Like, stop saying it.
That was such a weird interaction. I was
weird.
like, I don't know what's going on here. But I think it just continues to point to the fact that the two of them just don't have similar communication styles and just don't know each other enough to understand each other.
Yeah, it was like, yes, I did feel for her in this moment because it's like you can't make sense of what's going on, but it's like it was very clear something was going on, right? Whether he was inebriated or under something,
Influence.
um,
Influence.
under the influence of something where it's like, okay, I need to just revisit this in the morning because I literally can't communicate with you in this state. But she was already dealing with him being avoidant. So it's kind of like now we've
Yeah.
gone a whole day without talking. So I do see how she could reach that breaking point,
Yeah.
but I just wonder what it looks like from here because
Hmm.
he has somehow found a way to not communicate with her. And I just don't know how you can do that for, 4 weeks.
I mean, is he going to spend every day blackout drunk so he doesn't have to like really interact with her too much in a sober state? I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah.
God. Yeah. So
Mm.
these two are, oh, that was something else. But let's move on to a couple that you probably forgot. If you blinked, you would have missed them. Uh,
Mhm.
Anton and Allie, which we're finally back to them, which we talked about in the previous drop. Like the proposals are all on the same day, right? So we
Mhm.
did consistently see Anton there for his other guys throughout the rest of the pod time. So they just, intentionally did not give us a lot of Anton and Allie, had them do their reveal in the first episode. Now we're back to them. And it's this thing where, as the little bit we got of them was like, oh, the ring was $5,000. She's like, oh, it could have been $10,000. And then we know that they consummated their engagement.
Mhm.
But what else did
And
we find out?
that's it. Like literally,
Yep. That was
and
it.
Anton seems to be the object of all the ladies' eyes because he's not acting like an immature douchebag. Like
Yeah.
the other
Mhm.
4 men on this retreat, they're like, oh, everyone, all the ladies like, oh, Anton, like Allie, you got so lucky with Anton. Like he's such a
Mhm.
nice man. It's like, oh, that's not great for all the other 4 guys on this retreat when Anton just kind of it feels like Anton's being kind of baseline gentleman, and everyone's like,
Yeah.
dreamy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he seems like the mature one, like the older mature one, but I have no idea
Uh,
what his age in relative to the other guys is, but he just comes off like that, like he didn't even the girls knew that they like consummated their engagement, but he didn't, if I believe, he didn't say anything to the boys about it, right? Like
I
he
mean, as far as they
didn't.
showed us, like
As
we
far,
don't know.
yeah,
Well, Edmund didn't
and
know.
Edmund didn't know, yeah,
Oh, right,
because
sure, yeah.
yeah. Because Anton is the one who's talking to Edmund about like when like well, yeah. Well, in this group part, when Edmund is talking about how they didn't consummate, Anton's the one who's trying to talk him down and be like, it's fine, like just it's not that big of a deal. And Edmund's like, but I got to hit before marriage, bro. And Anton is like, you
But
have
he's
all
like,
your
everybody's
life.
different. What are you talking
Yeah.
about?
Anton was like the only voice of reason.
I mean, easy to say after you got some the night before. You know what I mean? Easy to say. But yeah,
I
like it's
guess.
just for now they seem easy sailing. Now the preview looks like they do have
Yeah.
like a little bit of a hiccup, but it still is not like something major. Like I feel like
Yeah.
there's gonna be some hey, you don't clean the apartment issues,
Yeah.
like or I think Allie is expecting him to kind of support them on just his income alone. I think it was another
Yeah.
moment for them. So seemingly small things, but maybe not. So we'll see with them.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
seems like they're trying to paint her as, high maintenance, a gold
Mhm.
digger, in the future episodes. But I wonder is it going to be a case of like Anton's like, wait, I can't support this lifestyle, or oh, let's adapt to like what works for both of us. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, they have like real life issue couple written all over them. You know what I'm saying? Because like they get past the pods, they're both extremely attractive. So of course there's not going to be any, problems there with attraction or anything like that. They're at the honeymoon, they're just enjoying each other. So their issues would come when you're actually trying to merge your life with somebody. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm not surprised about that, but like we said, it'll kind of be a toss up of if they can adapt or not. But they have the foundation of that emotional connection from the pods, the physical attraction. So they're lucky that they are our first couple. Whenever we're shown the first couple that's engaged, normally that always is a good sign that at the very least they're going to make it to the altar. So yeah, I wasn't surprised that we didn't get much from them in this second batch here.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So, yeah, it's very much it's not giving, "We're just trying to get through the 4 weeks." It's
Yeah,
giving,
yeah.
"How do we build a life together, and
Yeah.
does that work?" Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to Sparkle Megan, Jordan, and Mike. So,
Oh boy.
did y'all think she made the right decision choosing Jordan over Mike?
I don't know.
I don't know that she should have chosen either of these men. I think she should have left alone. I think
Left
in
when
the
Blake left?
maybe, or I think in the short term she would be happier with Jordan than Mike, but I think in the long term Mike is more of her style or her speed, as she kept saying. But I don't think Mike is a good guy, so I don't think she should have been with
That's
Mike.
right.
So I just don't know if her and Jordan's lifestyles are going to mesh as well as she
Exactly.
thinks they mesh. I think Sparkle Megan says so many of the right things about being there for Luca, but will it work in practice is
Yeah.
the issue. Because the way she talks about it feels like, oh, I'm just going to walk in and do this damn thing. It's not that easy. It's really not. So I don't know how well her and Jordan are going to mesh with their different tax brackets, if you will, and the different lifestyles. He drives a Kia. She drives a whatever.
We
She
still
won't,
don't
Whatever.
know.
won't say.
We still don't know. Mhm.
Not an Audi, it's
A
not a
G-Wagon.
Tesla. Yeah.
Yeah. So who knows?
Yeah.
You know what I thought was funny about the interactions was that once she decided to tell Mike she wasn't choosing him, Mike was like, "Ooh, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna just trying to paint a little bit of a picture that she's not gonna
Yep.
like Jordan." And he thought that, like, he thought they are so on the same page. There's no way she could like this tatted up man.
Mhm.
And she is so smitten when she sees Jordan. She's like, "You got a full head of hair. Oh my gosh, I love tattoos." She's like, I want to see more. Take off your pants." Like, she was more attracted to Jordan than Mike ever thought she would be.
Jordan was so hilarious when she said, "You have tattoos?" He said, "4 small ones," and then he winks at the
But
camera.
okay,
That
but
was
okay.
hilarious to me. I'm sorry.
See,
That was so cute.
I was low key like, I don't know, Jordan. I don't think this is the right way to go because he's
That
literally
was
lying.
hilarious.
He's literally lying about his tattoo situation. What if she didn't like tattoos and he walks
That
out
was
with
a
like,
risk. That was
yeah,
a risk.
like he's
That's
lying to
Love
her.
is Blind.
Like, whatever. But I mean, like like to lie in the pods about such a big part of yourself. I think I wish he would have told her before the reveal, like, hey, remember when I told you I had small tattoos? Just kidding. I got 2 sleeves. I got a leg sleeve. I mean, I think that is a factor for a lot of people. It's like it's a tattoo thing.
I agree, but Jordan is hot. Like objectively, he is a very hot guy, and I think what won him the day is his personality as well. Like when you go back and look at their interactions in the pod, he's just so funny. Like
Yeah.
he to me was hilarious. Like the jokiness, he was hilarious. He also has a soft side about his son. I think what also wins him the day is when she tells him like, "Oh, I have another connection," and he's like, "Oh, I didn't know that." But I trust you, go with your gut, you know what I'm saying? Do what's best for you. He just comes off as such a good guy. So to me, I was like, Jordan is a better person than Sparkle Megan, and Sparkle Megan is a better person than Mike. So
Yes.
I was really like we said, it's like, I think personality wise, Megan and Jordan like really meshed. I felt their conversations were much more flowy and flirty.
Yeah.
But if we're like talking about business wise, you want to make a merger, you want to be a
Go to
power couple.
Empire.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he could be a business partner for
Mike.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but Mike is such a can I talk about Dirty Mac and Mike real quick? He is such a dirty Mac. And Asia, you hit the nail on the head when you said he was insecure in the last batch, because he truly, you could tell he truly is. Because if he wasn't, he wouldn't have been Dirty Macking on Jordan, because he knew from jump that Jordan was the other guy. Jordan never knew about Mike. So him coming in and talking about, "Oh, do you like tattoos? Do you talking about the kid, like, how can your kid have diabetes?" Talking about like, "Oh, I don't care what kind of car you drive," and oh, he drives a Kia. Like him really having to like throw shade at Jordan and put Jordan down. shows how like
Scummy.
yeah, he is. It truly was. I was like and then like, how are you also like scummy and thinking you're better than him while also like putting him down? And it was just, I don't know, Mike. I was like, I don't like you. I didn't like him at all.
Yeah, I wasn't about him either. I actually think she made the right decision, even though it was like, okay, from jump, it seemed like, oh, lifestyles would match with Mike. She hasn't really been too clear. I know she says she's ready to step into the stepmom role, but that is a big role to step into. And so it's like, you are committing to a different level, or I guess an increased level of responsibility, knowing that Jordan has a son, but I think that the chemistry was better between Jordan and Sparkle Megan. And yes, it was a huge risk with the tattoos. But I think she got to know so much of his insides that it's just like, oh wow, this just is, this is part of your look, right? I think she would have had to hate tattoos in order to just be like, oh my gosh, a sleeve. Like, I have no tattoos. My girlfriend has a sleeve and like multiple tattoos. And I think it's, beautiful. So I think it's just a matter of like, when people come to like tattoos or no tattoos preference, people may have a physical preference in that way, but I think this was a unique circumstance where she does not despise tattoos, so it's okay.
Yeah, and she may have said enough in the positive, like, that she likes tattoos, and to like see the risk and be like, no, not much of a risk if I told a little white lie about this and surprise her at the reveal. So maybe that was a part we didn't get to see too much. But for Mike, we talked, we've said a couple times in this podcast about playing the game of Love is Blind, right? Mike was playing too hard. That's what Mike was doing. Jordan was playing just right by giving her the affirmation she needed while also being kind of laid back, low key, not pressing too hard. Mike was pressing way too hard with all these tidbits he's throwing out about Jordan, like, oh, I just don't know. Me and him are so different. I'm biting my tongue. I could say so much, but I know I probably shouldn't. We're just telling her that there may be an issue without saying what the issue is, so he can still make himself look like the good guy while still putting a seed of doubt in her head. Like, those are the mind games he was playing. And for him to be like, oh, you don't sound like you're really into me, like, you sound like you might also be into Jordan, I think I just might leave early by like playing those games with her. Like, I think that was maybe the red flag that she was getting, was like, maybe this guy's like not the guy I should be with. And Jordan, I'm getting so much of these like aggressive convos with Mike. Maybe I'm not getting that with Jordan. I'm getting these lighthearted, fun conversations with Jordan. All Mike can talk about is the great vacations we'll take, all the business opportunities we'll have together. And Jordan is just giving me like love and light in all our conversations. So I think that Mike played himself for sure.
And
he sure did.
Yeah. He was too close to her exes. Like, she even said she has an ex
that
was
Asia.
to being a billionaire. And this is the one opportunity. I mean, I know marriage is the goal at the end of it, but it is the one opportunity to go outside your typical preferences, because like Dr. Pepper says on Married at First Sight, what you've been doing hasn't worked for you. So go for something different. But yeah, we do ultimately see Sparkle Megan and Jordan choose each other, and she's very pleased with how he looks, and vice versa. He immediately shows her his son, and it feels like the physical attraction is there all the way up until he decided to be immature. I mean, the physical attraction is still there, but it did seem like she did get the ick with him at that pool party. Do y'all think that was like lasting, or is just like that's like a temporary, like, hey, just so you know, that type of stuff annoys me?
Did we didn't see them after the pool party, right?
No,
We didn't.
I think it was temporary.
Yeah, I think so. Like, I mean, the last thing we do see of her, it's her telling the girls like, oh my God, it's the best sex I've ever had. He's just so attentive. Like, she was smitten with him, like, sexually in an attractive way, to the point where all of the women had to be like, yes, our sex is great. I want to know how many of them were lying. But anyways, I
they're
think,
like, yeah, it was great. Everybody's saying it's great. Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, for them, it's always going to come down to what happens when they get back to the real world. Like,
Yes.
let's be real. Like, once they get over it, once we got over the hurdle of the tattoos, once she sees him and says he's handsome, and she wants to rip his pants off right then and there, and like now it's just gonna be, how are they going to mesh their lives together? And I unfortunately am not as optimistic for them as we are for like Anton and Allie, because I really do think they're coming from a wider gulf. Like he's what, like a district manager at like a retail
logistics.
And he's like a regional manager, and I was like, that sounds like The Office.
I was thinking like he's like an enterprise. I was thinking enterprise, like.
Well, yeah, because I think it's like transportation logistics. So you might be right, Mari.
Oh, yeah.
Like, working for like a rental car company. Yeah,
like
that
a
makes a
rental
lot
car
of sense.
company. That was my number one thought. And I was like, oh no, where have I seen this before? Like a woman who has it sounds like a really big company. She used to work in oil and gas, which is, I mean, Asia knows out there in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like to a guy who might be working behind the counter at Enterprise. I don't know, y'all. I'm scared.
Yeah, and I'm sure she didn't tell him the billionaire fact.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. She told Mike that. Yeah.
Yeah, I just think when you come from such different lifestyles, that merging those two are going to be very, very hard, and it takes a lot of patience, takes a lot of communication to make that work. So, you know, it would be like Asia getting with someone that was, you know, a worker at Walmart. Like that wouldn't work, right? It's two different people. But so yeah, I unfortunately also, Mari, agree with you. I just don't think it's gonna. I don't think it's gonna work.
I unfortunately agree with you.
Oh, listen, me and Mari clash all the time. But you know, we agree with each other too much on this podcast. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
But, and I don't know if it's even going to be anything so dramatic that will break them up. Like, I think maybe just realize they're not for each other as much as they thought they were, as much as their personalities mesh. There's just too much different there for them to really make this work. You know, if we want to talk a little bit about like the preview, like we didn't see a whole bunch of people in bride dresses at weddings. So I don't know how many of these
they've done that before, though. They've specifically excluded people, so that we wouldn't know they made it all the way there.
Yeah,
but I think she's having fun with him. It's just a matter of can it go back beyond that?
Yeah, what happens when it gets real? What happens when you get into real situations and it's not pod fun or retreat fun anymore? We'll see.
Because who was that in Houston? Izzy. When things got real, Izzy and
yeah. Talk about Izzy when the girl he was with was rich. Oh, I can't remember her name. Stacy, yes.
Stacy, yes.
But Izzy, I think the only difference here is like Izzy was very he was very insecure about him not. Jordan doesn't seem. The one thing I will say, Jordan. So when Sparkle Megan talked about when she had dated that younger guy, and it was like this, it was passionate and all that. She said what the problem was that he was not ready for like marriage and kids. Like,
but Jordan has,
Jordan is, Jordan has a kid. Jordan is ready for marriage. It seems like Jordan right now doesn't seem like the type who will care that she makes more money than him. It feels like it'll come down to if Sparkle Megan cares about being like the breadwinner type thing.
Yeah.
So they could make it work, but we don't know yet.
I think with Sparkle Megan is used to being taken out to Michelin star restaurants, and Jordan is like, I can take you to Applebee's. Like, how you feel about that? Like, so I don't know if that will be disconnected.
I went to Cheddar's the other day, Jason.
I don't even know what that is. So I should know what that is.
You don't know what Cheddar?
What?
Cheddar?
Yeah, we like.
Do we have that in the DMV, Mark?
We do. Yeah, we have one right in Southern Maryland, where I'm from.
Wow.
Everybody goes there.
Yeah, it's like so like.
Oh, Jason's the uncool one because he's never heard about Cheddar's.
But no. It's like I don't know how to explain
it. It's an equivalent to like Applebee's.
Yes,
Chili's.
exactly.
Like everything is so affordable.
Yeah, it's so affordable. Exactly. The drinks are huge and cheap, and everybody goes there.
Yeah. Asia Aysha was slumming it. She wanted to make sure that
Exactly.
she
I had a
knew
gift card.
That's what she was trying to get at.
I had a
we
gift
knew
card
that
to use.
she goes down to the little people level
Yeah,
sometimes
that's
for
that's
dinner.
exactly what
I
she
just see her just like whipping out a handkerchief to sit on the seat, like can't sit where the pores are sat, can't catch their pour.
but the funny thing is, since Sparkle Megan lived that life of being with the billionaire, and like she said, like you could tell it felt like she was like put in that trophy. It kind of sounded like she was put in that trophy girlfriend type of spot. I think since she's lived that life and know that she doesn't like that life, that it might be okay with her and Jordan. I don't know. I'm giving her a lot of grace, even though she's not my favorite person on this cast. But Jordan seems mature enough that he can handle her. So I think it's going to come down to her.
Yes, yeah. It just feels like a Lifetime movie. And what happens after Lifetime movie goes off?
Yes.
And the rich millionaire is supposed to choose between someone that's on her level financially and just a nice poor guy. It's just like, which one do I choose? She chose Jordan. Now we're going to see what happens after the cameras stop rolling on those Lifetime movies.
On point. Yeah.
That's what I meant to say about Brendan. Yeah. And I know you can relate to this, Mari, but I feel like Brendan is how like a woman author would write a man.
Yeah. Like just yes, I get that. Just very, very sincere, very
like romantic and passionate in the way he speaks, and it's just like yeah.
So you're implying that I don't read books written by women authors. That's what I'm getting.
Do you read romantic? Do you read romance novels?
I have before in my life, in some stage.
That reminds me, I'm reading one right now, Asia. I gotta give you a recommendation for.
Wow, just leaving me out of everything. Cool. Maybe I would appreciate a recommendation. You guys are being so sexist right now.
Look, I'm reading a Jasmine Guillory book right now.
Oh yeah, I have one on hold.
I've read so many Jasmine Gilroy. Is that what you said? Books.
Yeah.
Love that for you. Okay. Last but certainly not least. We have Calabria and Edmund. I don't know where to start with this one.
Why was that?
Yes, break it out, because what is happening? Break out the accent, because I too am so confused. I want to talk in tongues.
I am confusion.
Yeah, these two, we already, I kind of spoiled how I felt about their reveal in the last episode because I had to see how that was going to go. But he was just very over the moon, very excited. She was pleased with him. She loved his teeth. She's like, oh my gosh, look at your little style. And
my little sensitive baby.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And so that part went fine. And then we go.
I was like, I'm rooting for them. This is so awesome. That meetup, I was cheesing. I was like, yes. I was like, finally.
And then they had to go mess it up.
Yeah, I'm like, what has it been since Tiffany and Brett? We haven't had like a black couple we could just like really root for.
And that was what season.
Hope I'm not missing any. They be cranking these seasons out, but from recent memory, that's what it feels like. The last couple we can look to, like, aw.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was hoping the best for them. But we go to Mexico, and he got her very thoughtful gifts. That was thoughtful. He got her the matching shirts.
Oh, cute.
That was really cute. Then we kind of get to see their dynamic more in this conversation at lunch. And she brings up this hypothetical situation. She's like, look, if a man put his hand on me at the club, what you doing? And you would think this is a very opportune moment to be like, I'd grab her and be like, yo, this is my woman, blah, blah, play it off. That conversation could be done. But he acted like the police were watching this. He said, "What is he gonna do? What is what kind of assault is about to happen?" Because he was like, "I'm not putting my hands on another man. I would only dap up or like hug another man." And she's like, "Well, what if he's your size? What if he's this? What if he's that?" And she's like, "No, I'm a great guy. I compare myself to other men." And she's like, that's when she takes this lesson opportunity to be like, "You can only compare yourself to who you were yesterday." I just thought this was very, very telling, and not how he would defend her, right? That's on the surface, right? I felt like it was more about how they interact with each other and how they are kind of on different wavelengths at this moment.
Okay. So were you Team Calabria in that? Oh no. Oh God.
I listen. I'm more of an Edmund than a Calabria. Okay.
Well, yeah.
I'm not trying to get no fist fight no man in
Same.
the middle of a club.
Same.
Like,
I'm not
Fight no
touching
man
the-
in the middle of the
especially
club.
especially nowadays.
Aysha?
No,
Especially-
I wouldn't either. And
But you was like, he thought the police was
No.
watching. He ain't told her what he would really do. Like,
no. You misunderstood me then. I'm
Okay.
saying it's not about what he actually would do. I felt like this wasn't a moment that she's like, let's play it out because this is going to happen tonight. I felt like it was like a lighthearted conversation, like, oh, what would you like in this situation? What would you do, man? Da 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 da.
but you want
But
him
it
to lie
felt
to
like
her?
he took
Like,
it way more.
I thought she was
it
being
was
serious.
a playful
I-
conversation.
she
I
was
didn't think it
being
was
serious.
like, let's
She was
map
being
this
serious.
out.
She was
No.
being serious.
She was
I
being
did
dead
not.
ass.
I didn't
She was
take
being
that
dead
as a
serious.
serious.
Dead ass. Yeah.
I didn't take
like-
that as serious.
Yeah, I'm definitely in the Edmund camp of things. Like, I don't know what nobody got while we're in the club. I am not trying to get stabbed up, shot up because this man decided.
Right.
Yes, we would have a conversation, me and the man, but I ain't fighting nobody. I am quick to
Thank you.
scared it. Come get this man.
They get paid to possibly get shot or stabbed.
Right,
at.
exactly. So you don't know what's about to pop off anywhere. That's my view of things.
I was
Listen, I'm not
So,
saying anything's wrong with his actual reaction to that situation. Like
I thought
that
she was being
being
serious
the
though.
case.
I thought she was
I
asking
didn't-
for her,
yeah.
like,
See, no, that's
clarification of
why
where they're at.
that's why I thought this was more telling about how they interact with one another, because it felt more playful to me.
Oh,
Well,
thought she was
I would have
serious.
thought it was initially playful if, when he had given his answer the first time, she wouldn't have kept doubling down on it. And she because at first she's like, okay, so what if we're in a club and this big guy comes and he grabs on me? What are you gonna do? And Eminem was like, just.
But he gave her the wrong answer. Is the
Yeah,
problem?
exactly. And he's like, I would pull you to the side and we keep it moving. She's like, but what if he grabs me though? Be telling like, hey, it was the fact that she kept doubling down and kept like, okay, but what if he's like your size then? And she kept wanting him to say, oh, I'm gonna steal on this guy. I'm gonna fight him. Why would you want a guy to say that for you? Like that's why no, we do. We're too old to be getting into fights in the club. Like
it's a mindset issue. It's a mindset issue. I think this right here illustrates they're on different mindsets. They're on different. They feel about different things different ways. They handle situations differently, which it's great to be in the pods and have all these emotional conversations. And he's so sensitive, but then you also have to deal with the flip side of the coin. That there might be some other situations that because he's so sensitive in the way that he is, he's going to handle situations differently than you would in that situation. So I think that's the flip side she was not prepared or ready for in that.
I agree. There's so much like to break down from this couple that I think is not said on television, right? Like Edmund coming from a background of being in like foster care and stuff like that, and then Calabria being a social worker, I think it gets them to a certain point. But then it's like, but then are you mothering him / being a therapist to him instead of just being a girlfriend? And
that's what I said. My concern was the last episode was she
that's
turned
exactly
into like a caretaker.
Exactly. And then on the flip side for her, she's like, I want to be taken care of. And I kind of want you to like, she didn't have to say it, but it felt like she wanted him to like man up. And I was just kind of like, this might not be it for. We don't know what he went through in the foster care system. You know what I'm saying? As you know, as somebody who has a brother who was adopted from like group homes and stuff, that is a very rough life, and you know that could trigger something into him as to not want to fight so hard for in certain situations. So I agree. This definitely did feel like there's a disconnect for them on bigger issues than what may have been immediately not thought of when we're in the pod situation. And it was very sad to see because I was
Yeah,
so excited for them.
right. Yeah, I guess just to clarify, I'm not out
Here,
here
here goes
fighting
here goes Asia
nobody.
defending herself.
Please, let's.
And who else is gonna defend me if I
Yeah.
don't?
You don't need defending, Asia. You're down to scrap. We
Let's
understand that
clarify.
about you.
Yes.
No one mess with Asia. We're about to be next week. We're about to be in a situation. We're in a bar. We're going to RHAP
Jason,
Live next
what's
week.
gonna happen when somebody walks up to me
Is
and
Sarah
they put
gonna be
their
there?
hand on me?
Sarah,
She
your
will
girlfriend's
not be
gonna-
there.
Oh shit! Like, oh.
Wait.
Does it fall to me then? It falls to me. It goes
default.
girlfriend, podcast partner. That's where it
Yes.
goes. Oh,
Literally.
That is
man.
so funny.
Yeah, I'm calling Rob. Rob,
Rob,
just, you know.
Sam,
You over Rob?
yeah, Rob, come on.
Rob, the most anti fighter.
You could
What do you want
pick
me
up
to do? What do you
Rob.
want me to do? That whole
I'll
place gonna be
fight for you in
answered
a bar, Asia.
Thank
I'll
you,
be there.
Mari.
I'll fight for
See,
you.
and you see how we exchange, and that's nipped in the bud, right? But it's not like we get in the bar in New York and somebody puts their hands on me and I'm like, Mari, remember what you said? You said you would.
So
You
you
see
want
what
me to
I'm
lie
saying?
to know that this is a hypothetical situation because
No,
to
that's
say
what I
this
feel
is going to
like.
happen. So I
That's why
need to make I need to say what she wants to hear, and because I know it's not going to happen, I'm not going to back this up. So I need to say what she
Yes.
wants to hear.
That's why I felt like it wasn't a practical what would you do? It was just like a playful conversation that turned serious because he couldn't even play along with her. And it was like, wait, it just turned into this. That's why I feel like it turned into this weird conversation because they weren't
It
on the
just
same
went weird.
page.
Yeah.
Period. It wasn't just she needs to know that he would actually protect her. It just they were just coming from two different.
But that's what happens when you present hypotheticals to people that you don't really know. Because
yes. Get out of hypotheticals,
that.
guys. Yes, that's the main problem. But then we got into a real situation as opposed to hypothetical where everyone has had sex except for them. And it was so interesting to me watching him care so much in the moment. Like actively in the conversation, we see him change his perspective because he's like, yeah, like with the guys, yeah, like, you know, she want to wait. I respect that. She want to wait till till we do get married. I respect that. And the other guys start talking. He's like, yeah, no, I got to hit before we get married. What? You just said you respect it. So you're like actively shifting your opinion, quote unquote, as the conversation carries on because you're like, oh, this is what is more socially accepted. And then it's just kind of like, wait, where do you stand?
Yeah. And she told him in the hypothetical conversation, she says comparison is a thief of joy. And that's kind of that spells itself out right in these situations.
Foreshadowing.
So for real. So
exactly.
Yeah. So he definitely takes that. Yeah.
And to me, that is the more concerning thing to me, other than him not wanting to fight in the club. To be quite honest, the fact that you care so much about what other people think about you, oh no, we're gonna have some problems, baby, because that's not cute. You changing yourself and your opinion to go with the flow to see what's more acceptable, I'm not gonna respect you for that. You know, I'm gonna respect you for being totally 100% who you are and in your beliefs and standing up for that, than to then once you find out everybody's had sex to then internalize that as to something's wrong with you. Boy, I'm telling you, there's nothing wrong with you. I'm telling you why I'm drawing this line in the sand as to why we're not having sex, and then you're internalizing it in a different way was nuts. Oh my God.
Yeah, so that conversation where he finds out like this that I felt like this was a very big conversation for their relationship, because
Yeah.
him finding out that all the other couples have had sex except for them, and he's like, "Well, that leaves me the only dude. Oh, but also you the only woman. So then we're in the same boat. What boat is that? Like,
Right.
we're in a relationship with each other. It's not this competition between the men and the women."
Yeah, if we're
Right.
on the we care about this boat, I'm not on your boat. We're in different boats, my G. Like,
Right.
you know.
Because she did not care. She,
Right.
whatever.
You are on Carnival. I am on Royal Caribbean.
And they said that they did other stuff. They just had
Yeah, she said a lot of foreplay, but the
Mhm.
fact that it was that coupled with her explaining to him, "Hey, this is kind of where I am with sex. I've had one night stands with like people I don't care about, right? But the relationships I do care about, I've made wait 9 months, maybe wait a year." He said, "You're gonna make me wait 9 months?" And it was like the fact that he was like so thrown off by that, and even brought it up later saying, "I'm still stuck on the fact that you've had one night stands and I'm giving you my all and I'm not getting none."
I saw Calabria did come out and
Scary.
talk about this a little bit.
Oh,
And
go
and
ahead.
she said that they had conversations in the pods where she drew this boundary and said, "Hey, just so you know, this is what it's going to be. We're not having sex till the wedding night if we get there." And he said he was fine with it. But then
Oh,
we
because
get
that was socially acceptable in the pods in that moment
yeah,
as he talked to her. That's
yeah.
why.
Then we get out here with your friends and you want to show off. Like
Exactly.
you want to get upset because everyone else is getting some, but you're not. And
Yeah.
it's that comparison that is like that's really crushing him. And I also wonder if that comes from like, you know, that stems from a childhood maybe feeling lesser than or without, or that doesn't have things that other people have. You have to compare yourself constantly to what other
Mhm.
people have or have not. And I just wonder if it stems from that, because once he find like, because he didn't even, it sounded like he didn't even know that everyone else had sex
He
until
did
she
it.
informed him.
Yeah, he did.
And he's like, "Oh, like for like that," and that's when it went into overdrive of like, I don't understand, like what is going on. She also had said that she confided in him in the pods about her one night stand thing, and now he's throwing it back in her face in this conversation,
So
and she
annoying.
felt rather hurt by that. So it was
Mhm.
like, yeah,
As she should,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
what are you talking about that, I don't know. It just the fact that he was so caught up on being a nice guy,
Yes.
that's when women
Ooh.
start thinking, "Oh, this fake nice guy thing because oh, you're
Yep.
being nice just to get something in return." And
Yes.
Yes.
so it's just not like, "Oh, you're not just like," and I'm not saying he's not a nice guy. I think that he's so caught up with the perception of being a nice guy that it's like, "Oh, well, I'm a nice guy, which means that equals sex on the getaway."
That's that. That's that our nice guy rhetoric. That's that
Mhm.
incel rhetoric. That's very scary. And the way that he was talking about it, she says out of her mouth, like, when I am with somebody that I care about, I normally like make them wait longer for it. But she said, but have had one night stands where, I'm just whatever. I don't really care. I'll have sex with somebody. It's fine. And then for him to be like, the fact that you would give your bodies to dudes who don't care about you,
Mm.
that doesn't make sense when I'm here and I'm being nice. And I'm like, you did not hear that statement
No.
correctly. The
Mhm.
agency has gone out of the window there, Edmund. She's saying with her body, she can use her body as she sees fit, and she has used it for guys where she's like, oh, he's just a one night stand. He's just a dude that I have sex with. He's just a friend with benefits. I can do that and I can go about my day and look for the person I actually want to be with. And that's way different than you're saying that she just giving her body to people that don't care about her. That's two different things here, sir. And you're conflating the two. And
Yeah.
because you're conflating the two, that's scaring me a little bit, to be quite honest. Because we should not be having debates on who she decides to be intimate with or not. And
Yeah.
then it was kind of funny to me when she was like, but it's been over a year since I did
That really was not a long time ago.
Yeah. That was funny. That was funny. It's been at least a year.
It's literally
I
been
thought
a year. I
I
thought
thought
you'd be
you were
like,
gonna say
"Kelly,
something like 5 years.
Yeah.
That was only 2 months ago.
So long ago.
But beware of the people that tell you what they are. Like, I'm such a nice guy.
Oh, yes.
Like
Yeah.
usually that means they are not the thing they're saying they are, that they're insisting that they are. Is like,
Yeah.
always beware of that. If they are something, then they don't need to tell you they are. You can
show
just tell they are.
you.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly. And
They show you through their
show me.
actions. They show you through their actions, not words. So beware of the people that use their words like that. I am such a nice guy. I am such a this. I'm such a that. Usually they are not that.
And then proceeds to cry about it and kind of throw a tantrum about how much of a nice guy he is, and he's tired of being just the nice guy, and it's so weird. It's so weird. And now it's turned into her having to calm him down and comfort him and make him feel better about the fact that she has decided that she wants to wait until the wedding night for sex, when it's just like, how did we get here? How are we now having a conversation or an argument about something we've already, like you said, Jason, already discussed in the pods?
And honestly, again, too, like, her being like, well, I would like to wait for marriage. I think that takes a lot of that pressure off. It should essentially take that pressure off of, like, when are we going to do it? Should we do it? Blah, blah, blah. If you set that boundary as in, like, I really want to wait till marriage. I want to wait till we say yes at the altar, da, 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 da. Then if that pressure is off and you guys are clicking, who knows? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, again, you don't want to push anybody's boundaries or anything like that, but it should be one of those things where, okay, well, if we've already established this, then we can focus on other things. And if we're focusing on other things and we're clicking on other things, who knows what might happen? But it, like, totally comes and backfires because everybody else had sex. What? Like, huh?
Like, oh, now I'm the last guy.
So
right. It's just like, and the fact that he was so open too about, she's like, I don't care what other people think. He says, I do.
Yeah, when he said that, I was like, oh,
sorry.
Oh no.
You said the quiet part out loud.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But I do. Oh, okay. Now we need to regroup.
When I tell you, that would throw me off way more than anything. Like the crying, no, I don't care. Like saying you really, really care about what people think. It's like, there should be no space for that in your relationship.
And I think it was so clear during this conversation that he don't listen or at least
he don't listen.
He don't listen. Or he hears what he wants to hear, because even at the start of this conversation where she's just like, they're just talking through the couples and he's like, oh, well, who do you think they think is the best couple? She's like, well, I think we're the strongest couple, but I don't care about what they think. He's like, but if they, if you think that they had to say, who do you think they would think is stronger? What are you talking about?
So wild. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's these two. I don't know. Yeah, this was a very concerning batch for Edmund, because I think it just really showed more of just in practice what their relationship would be like, and less about, and like, I mean, he's saying he's giving his all. He's saying he's there for her and would be there for her. And I know we don't get the full edit of all of their interactions, but when does this become, beyond words? Like, when is it actions?
We don't get all their interactions, but I know bad when I see it. It's like,
Yeah.
I know trouble when it raises its head. So I don't need to see all the other good parts to know that this was bad. This is a really bad moment for them. All the segments they had were kind of bad, except for the little parts where, like, he got her gifts and stuff. I just think they both had expectations of life, of situations, which is which really is the trouble part for most of these couples that are on Love is Blind in any season. So I think this is par for the course, where we said such great things to each other in the pods, right? We were in love. We were talking
flowery
about
language.
All this fun stuff we're going to do. When we get out in the real world, though, and real situations come up that we didn't even think to bring up in the pods, how is this going to, resolve itself?
And he even says, I know I'm more locked in than you are, and that's fine.
Bro.
What?
What do you mean?
Where is that coming from?
Yeah. Ooh. And she was like, I know that. So I know that sex is more sacred to you than it is to me. I was like, Is it though? Like, I feel like it's kind of the other way around. Sex feels more sacred to Calabria than it does to Edmund because
Well, I think she was speaking from the point of she's willing to have sex on one night stands because it's like, okay, whatever with that person. But if it's someone that she cares about, she cares to like it matters to her when she does have sex.
Yeah.
So
to me that means
yeah.
sex is sacred to her.
But
And for
not
Edmund,
but I think she's thinking that he couldn't think it's sacred to her if she's willing to do it on one night stands.
yeah, I think that's what he thinks. I think probably, but like,
Yeah.
so it's why. And for him to be like, I am more locked in than you. I care more about you than because I'm willing to have sex now and you want to wait. Like, you don't even get it, do you? Like, you don't.
Right, exactly, and that's why it would be more sacred to him to have it, to lock it. It's confusing, and it doesn't make sense at all. But yeah, poor Edmund. There was a lot of online diagnosing of him.
Yeah, I'm like I always wait to do a deep dive on TikTok until after we converse, so it's like all my true thoughts before start getting all the TikTok doctors and TikTok therapists talking about everybody's situation. But I am going to do a deep dive just to see what everybody's saying about everybody, because there's more. Like when you said, like one couple, I think that was pre-show. I was like, I had no idea which couple you were referring. You're like, oh, there's this couple. Which
like one couple is a hot mess.
Yeah. And I literally had no idea which couple you're talking about because we have so many options here. So it's really interesting this season so far. Yeah, this has been a great batch to discuss.
Yes.
As a purveyor of mess, I am enjoying myself for sure.
Oh, I know you are.
My God, yes. Being a purveyor of mess that Jason is, I was actually on his side. I'm like, bring me the mess because I barely like any of these people. So like, bring the drama. Bring the drama. I'm no longer here for the love. I'm just here for the ride.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Mari. We really appreciate having you on and getting your opinions. Where can people keep up with you?
You can find me over on Blue Sky. That's the only place you can find me, at Mari Talks Too Much. That's 2, like the number 2. Then you can also listen to me and Sarah Carradine break down true crime documentaries over on Crime Scene Pod. That's crime SEEN pod.com. We just recently talked about it was an old Untold episode, Deal with the Devil, about Christy Martin the boxer, because we saw Sydney Sweeney is coming out with a movie about Christy Martin. So we revisited the Untold documentary about the story, and we had an amazing time talking with our guest host, Mel Barrett. We also cover all of the hits over there. Jason has been on several times. Asia, she's been on a couple times. Like, it's hard to find something.
I'm trying to come back.
Asia's not true crimey, so we have to find something like nice for her, and it's really hard. Meanwhile, we'll throw the most horrible stuff at Jason.
Yeah, you torture me. Like, oh, Jason will be fine with this, dude. He hasn't been traumatized in a while. Let's give him this.
And he's such a great sport about it. So you definitely go and subscribe by going to crimescenepod.com, or you can type in Crime Scene wherever you get your podcasts.
Yes, and I did get to see Sarah Carradine when I was in Sydney, so that was so much fun.
She said, she had fun hanging out with you.
Yeah, we did have fun. She took us to a beach club that she's like a member of, so we got to have like a beautiful scenery while drinking a glass of wine. So it was so fun. So thank you again, Mari, for coming on. Jason, what are you up to?
You can find me on The Good Pod with Marissa Garza as we watch the show The Good Wife, and we're also going to be talking about Elsbeth when that comes up this coming week when it comes back for season 3. So check us out there if that is something that you're into. Of course, you can check me and Asia out on the Perfect Match podcast. We do have a Patreon talking about the older seasons of Married at First Sight. We are in season 11 right now. Season 19, the newest season of Married at First Sight, is coming back. It's coming to Patreon. A little bit of a format change. We're dealing with all that. So when that comes out...
No, not Patreon, Peacock.
Yes, on Peacock. Sorry, on Peacock. So when that comes back, you can find that in the same feed you found this. We'll be talking about the newest season of Married at First Sight. Come and join. If you like Love is Blind, you'll like Married at First Sight.
Yes.
They are cousins. They're cousins, made by the same production company and everything. So come on over.
Yeah, exactly. like a sister from another mister, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Brother from another mother. So y'all can find me at Asia like Asia. That's AYSHA like ASIA. Yes, everything that Jason has going on, I'm doing that except for the good pod. Um, but yeah, go ahead and make sure you subscribe to this feed, the Love at First Sight feed. Make sure you subscribe to the RJP YouTube channel, and we will be back next week to talk about, well, more like this week, to talk about the next batch of episodes. This season so far has been entertaining, so we hope they keep it up. But thank you so much for sticking with us, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
This is RHAP. We know reality TV.